final moments of George Floyd's life discussed.
A healthy person subjected to what Mr. Floyd was subjected to would have died.
As witnesses testify in the Derek Chauvin trial, a Parkland parent looks on.
Because my daughter should be with me, and I should be here today.
As President Biden takes action following mass shootings. And is now the time to return to Universal Studios.
I did see a lot of workers continuously point at their mask or pull.
The Orlando theme park working to make it safe and fun. It's all coming up on Newsbreak.
Hello, South Florida. I'm Danelle Dukin, and today is Friday, April 9th, 2021.
From the South Florida Media Network's Biscayne-based studios in North Miami, this is SFMN Newsbreak.
More than 3 years after the Parkland shooting, executive action on certain types of guns, and the parent of a Parkland survivor was there to see it. Gun control advocate and father of a Parkland victim, Fred Guttenberg, addresses the media after attending President Biden's gun control news conference.
I see my friend, Fred Guttenberg. His daughter, Jamie, was a freshman at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School. She was an accomplished dancer.
Because my daughter should be with me, and I should be here today.
Guttenberg adding that despite the sadness, the executive order which President Biden announced yesterday gives him hope and optimism for the future. Breaking news from the British monarchy. This morning, the royal family announced the passing of Prince Philip, Duke of Edinburgh, and husband of Queen Elizabeth II since 1947. According to the message posted on Twitter, the royal passed away peacefully inside Windsor Castle. The royal family will be making further announcements regarding the funeral of Prince Philip in the hours to come. The Chauvin trial begins today, the 10th day of witness testimony. So far, the prosecution has called 33 witnesses to the stand. Today, they are focusing on medical expert testimony. Dr. Martin Tobin, a pulmonary expert, says he believes the combination of the handcuffs, the street, and position of Chauvin's knees on Floyd's neck and back made it impossible for Floyd to breathe.
A healthy person subjected to what Mr. Floyd was subjected to would have died.
He is saying, please, please get off of me. I want to breathe. I can't breathe. That is not a fentanyl overdose. That is somebody begging to breathe.
A second medical expert also agreed, rejecting the defense theories that drugs or pre-existing conditions are what led to Floyd's death. According to the CDC, several coronavirus outbreaks have been linked to school tournaments or extracurricular activities where clusters of kids gather.
School sports, particularly team sports, which people engage in close contact without masks. I think that is what is explaining these surges of cases in young individuals.
The CDC recommends minimizing the time spent indoors and reduce the amount of time players spend in close contact with each other. After a busy spring break season, things are finally back to normal at Miami International Airport. As you consider summer travel, the network's Daniel Otero takes a closer look.
Miami International Airport is home to many travelers worldwide. With the recent issues arising with COVID-19, it does not slow down the traffic in this airport. Last year, Miami Airport had over 18 million passengers use their services during the height of the pandemic. Passengers feel that the energy of the airports are normal.
Yeah, I most definitely feel safer traveling in airports. It's very scary, COVID, but the airport makes it very safe, and it guides you in every way. So I do feel safer, and I wouldn't change a thing.
When it comes to the vaccinated and unvaccinated travelers, how will airports here accommodate to them? The use of masks and social distancing is still heavily enforced with the growing amount of people using airlines.
Finally, when I decided to travel, it was just like a breath of fresh air because I didn't actually have to clutter through people.
Many major airlines have eliminated middle seats in order to effectively social distance passengers. This is the answer to the increasing amount of travelers, but is the cost worth it?
At this time, I do feel safe, mainly because everybody's still wearing masks and, trying to be socially distant, washing their hands. And again, the data shows the worst of this has since passed.
I'm Daniel Otero with the South Florida Media Network.
A run to Disney World unlike any you've heard of before. That's still ahead, and so is this story.
masks and there were certain areas that you could take it off. There were like rest areas that you could like take off your mask in.
As you plan a possible return to Orlando theme parks, we take a closer look at Universal Studios. Newsbreak will be back in 2 minutes.
The black truck? Hey, Christina from accounting.
Yeah, hi.
Hey, I used to date a girl named Christina.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then she dumped me for my best friend. You want to see some photos of them that I took?
I don't.
I thought we talked about this, buddy.
Buzzed and overshared again?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna call a car.
That's a smart idea.
So yeah, I know, that's why I did it.
Hey, you're gonna get back to the top of the mountain.
Does that mean I'm gonna get back with Christina?
No.
Oh.
No.
It's all of our responsibility to slow the spread of the coronavirus. So follow guidance from authorities where you live and stay home unless absolutely necessary. You can still use your outdoor spaces like yards and decks. It's also okay to go for a walk or exercise outside. Wear a cloth face covering, stay at least 6 feet away from other people, try not to touch any surfaces, and wash your hands for at least 20 seconds as often as possible. Visit coronavirus.gov for the latest information.
I don't remember how it started.
Go to that.
Our back and forth. It always came back.
Dad!
You probably don't remember what you told me,
That was perfect.
but I heard every word.
Things could be stranger, but I don't know how. I'm going through changes now. Could spend a lifetime trying to figure it out. I'm going through changes, through all of the strangeness. I'm going through changes now.
Thousands in South Florida deciding to make their return trip to Orlando area theme parks for the first time since the COVID shutdown. I'm sure you've given some thought on going back to Universal Studios, but you're also thinking about safety. As the network's Ashley Vega reports, the parks are thinking a lot about that too.
Travelers free of COVID-19 symptoms have been filing into the theme parks since June 5, 2020, after closing in March of 2020. Universal Orlando's president, Bill Davis, released a letter welcoming back and ensuring the safety of guests. At Universal Orlando Resort, we are following what we are calling the 3 S's. That's screening, meaning we're taking everybody's temperature before they enter, sanitization, because we are constantly sanitizing areas and high-touch surfaces in the parks, and spacing, providing markings and reminders throughout our resort so guests can socially distance themselves from other parties. Visitors can expect a no-touch temperature screening. Based on the CDC guidelines, anyone who displays a 100.4 temperature will not be allowed admission.
I did see a lot of workers continuously point at their mask or pull so that people would put on their masks. It wasn't a priority, I would say. And I think at the beginning they had a lot of rules indicating that you had to wear your masks, and there were certain areas that you could take it off. There were rest areas that you could take off your mask and just relax.
Park reservations are not required to visit, but it's suggested to plan in advance as there may be times when the parks reach capacity and additional guests won't be admitted. While guests continue to travel to these parks, it's important to follow these guidelines for your safety and the safety of others. For South Florida Media Network, I'm Ashley Vega.
A Texas man took on a cross-country run from Disneyland to Disney World, all while raising awareness for diabetes. 59-year-old Don Machow was greeted at Disney World in Florida with a big welcome after completing his run from Disneyland in California. The triathlete originally planned to run from the Pacific to the Atlantic, but made a happy accident by stopping at the Disney parks.
He said, well, so I assume you're running from Disneyland to Disney World? And I hadn't actually thought about it that way. Security guard said, oh, are you the runner? And I thought, oh my God, here's the escort off Disney property.
Don didn't let his type 1 diabetes hold him back and hopes to show others that if he defied the odds, they can too. That's all the time we have for Newsbreak. I'm Danelle Dugan. Get more news anytime at sfmn.fiu.edu.